as we say hello from the virtual Chicagoland Speedway and welcome to the season 11 finale of the iSNF Cup Series here from once again the virtual Chicagoland Speedway. Hello, my name is Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator for tonight's finale here once again from Joliet, Illinois. And what a race ended off on. Obviously, we go to Chicagoland. Not, this weekend here. Obviously, the Cup Series, the O'Reilly cars are at Sonoma. But the week after that, Chicagoland finally makes its way back onto the NASCAR calendars as we are excited to see what can happen there at Chicagoland next week. But obviously, Rhea wanted to end off the season here from the virtual Chicagoland Speedway. Obviously, we saw this last Thursday, the Osorel Cup Series here from the virtual Chicagoland Speedway. They put on a phenomenal race there in those Gen 4 cars. Is the 22 of Ashley Kolonix got her second win of the season. They're here from the virtual Chicagoland Speedway, but tonight we look forward into the season 11 finale here from Chicagoland. We'll go trackside here to show you guys one of your fastest drivers here in practice right now. Currently, Nicholas Johnson and this number 20 machine. He's out on track, fastest in practice here in that Ream number 20. See him in the chase, technically in the chase. Obviously, I'm not in any contention to go race for a championship tonight here. I'm just not consistent enough here in these last 10 or so races since the chase has started to make himself a contender. We know he's quick. We know he's got an opportunity to do stuff, but just hasn't been consistent enough. You look back to P2, Thomas Flynn, your points leader coming in to Chicagoland. Needs to fend off a hungry Penske 22 of Justin Johnson there, but Thomas looks like the odds-on favorite to win his first championship here in season 11. And speaking of Thomas Flynn, speaking of Justin Johnson, also running around each other here on track, he sits third in practice there, fastest time of a 30.145. Just about a little under half a tenth, but slower than Thomas Flynn there. Then another Penske forward back there in P4. Mark Gonzalez, last week's winner. Dominating win for him from the Nashville Super Speedway. He's looking to build off of that momentum. Rounding out your top 5 in practice, the number 77 Spire Motorsports entry of Craig Lautenschlager. See him in that Spectrum Jet themed paint scheme there that we saw the real life car race at Coronado. Obviously, Carson looked pretty quick. Unfortunately, could not get a good finish in. And you look through the top 10 here in practice. We'll go ahead and show up your fastest lap times here on the right side of your screen. The Alyssa Sharp in the 54. Good practice for her. Scott Trusty in the 51. Good practice for him. James Bowles in the 35 entry. Davey Hendricks in the 43 subbing in. Good practice for him. And then Blake Hullett, the number 17 RFK machine. A good practice for him. He fills out the top 10. We'll continue to show the action here on track. We'll go ahead and take a look at your point standings. This will be a big topic of discussion throughout the whole race tonight. Thomas Flynn comes in 38 points above Justin Johnson for the championship. So 38 points is a pretty big cushion right now. Obviously, he can still get it taken away, right? If he gets no stage points and the 22 wins both stages, that's 20 points right there. That could drop it down from 38 to 18, right? At the end of stage 2. So definitely not out of it here. I mean, Justin still definitely has an opportunity to come and race for a championship here tonight here from Chicagoland, but he's got to be on his A game. He's got to qualify very well, get that bonus point for getting the pole, right? The pole is a must here for this 22. Every point is going to matter here. You have to be up there, up towards the front tonight, and try to race for these stage wins, right? Even if that means you have to put Thomas in a bad spot. I'm not going to say you have to wreck the 24. I know that Justin isn't the kind of driver to do that. But you got to put him in some bad spots so that he does not get stage points, right? So, there's no race control here in the iSNF Cup Series to, really penalize the 22. Unless there's like an abundance of drivers that are speaking up over the radio telling him, telling some of the admins to, get, to start to make some punishments for the driver if he would, cross the line here to try to run, gain some points here to get his first championship here in season 11. But I don't think Justin would go to that great lengths of anything else like that. But right now it looks like it's going to be between the 22 and the number 24 for the championship. It does show technically Mark Gonzalez in the red, 60 points back. We need a full field tonight for Mark to have any shot. Right, we need all 40 entries tonight to show up here. Mark to win both stages, plus get stuff done, right? So, technically, Mark is in kind of batter swinging range, right? Obviously, if he'd win both stages and somehow the 22 and the 24 somehow take each other out or get caught up in incidents and don't get any stage points, right? And Mark wins both stages, that'll knock it back to 40 points, right? And then he'd have to hope that, he gets the most laps led bonus. He gets the pool bonus. He gets all the bonus points he can tonight. Obviously, I believe that all these drivers, especially with how close it's come down to, are going to be running the right schemes and everything to get those, five bonus points coming into the night. I don't think anybody would put that, those precious points on the line. But obviously, Mark's still technically in it. Needs a couple more drivers to sign up here for tonight's race. Right now, it looks like we have 32 drivers signed up, right? I think Mark would need about, a full field, a 40-car field tonight to give himself a chance. So obviously, it looks like it, once again. And even then, right, if we did get a 40-car field, Mark would need them, Thomas, to finish, pretty much dead last, and he would need, Justin, his teammate, to finish in the mid-20s probably to give himself a shot, right? Big long shot, but those are your points coming into the night. And then obviously Chris Otto, fourth on back, out of contention, plays for a championship tonight. But you see 30 seconds on counting. Here in practice, we'll get ready to get into qualifying here for your final race of the season here from Chicagoland. Looks like Nicholas Johnson will take practice here with that 30.06. Thomas Flynn and Justin Johnson going to round out your podium here, and they're your fast three. You're from practice, but you're ready to get into qualifying. See what these drivers can do in qualifying. Gonna be huge here, especially for those championship too. Trying to duel it out here for the championship. It's gonna be interesting to see who can get it done here in qualifying. Waiting on some drivers to get on track. Looks like James Bowles, one of your first drivers to come out on track. Get your qualifying started here from Chicagoland. He makes his way out on track here in this 2311 machine. In this 35 machine from Coronado, I believe, did almost got his best finish. Obviously, he was running inside the top 5 there in the last lap. Unfortunately, it sounds like he got turned around by the 16 of AJ Allmendinger. Fortunately, didn't get the finish he wanted here, but go on board here with James Bowles. So you guys are around the track here. You'll see his inputs here on the left side of your screen. Going to run this middle line. Going to probably try to drop down here. Down at the bottom. No, we'll stay in the middle for this first lap. Down across the apron. 30.3. It's a little bit more pace here to get the pull in this 35 machine. Up the track he'll go. You see him a little sideways there, I think. Didn't use up as much of the track as I think he'd need to get a good lap out. Ooh, we see him out of the gas there. And James Bowles back to the stripe here. At 30.4, cannot beat that lap time. On board on now. Thomas Flynn, your pole sitter. We talked about it. Needed to have a good night. Austin Reedy. Alyssa Sharp out on pit road here. We'll go with Joey Maines here in the 48. He's coming around to start his first time lap. Drivers have 2 laps to set here in this 5-minute practice session. And only allowed 2 laps. So, gonna make it count while you have the opportunity to get the track position here early before we get going green here from Chicagoland. You see Joey Maines up to the top side here on this first lap. Gonna have a huge momentum down the backstretch. And up to the top again here in 3 and 4. So we saw, the 35 up in the middle lane. You'll see the 48 up all the way up to the top side. Gonna have huge momentum. Decides not to cut the dog. Like you're gonna see the second lap is gonna be. He's gonna try to make this his fastest lap. Now currently P11 at 30.6 flat for Joey Maines here. But in the green on the second lap. Needs to keep it out of the outside wall here. He's gonna have a good lap set up for himself. Still in the green. At 30.5. Not too bad. Not going to be enough to bump him up anymore. He stays back there in P12. Mark Gonzalez on his first time lap. Out of turn 3 and 4. 30.0. Good enough for your pull right now. He knocks down Thomas Flynn with that. We ran at 30.2. Mark said, that's all I need. Dylan Basin out on track, subbing for the 21 machine. Dylan across the stripe to start his first time lap. I believe Dylan's going to be the only driver tonight with custom colors here on the ticker, so a little preview for what's potentially to come here on the network here for these guys. Ooh, Dylan up in the outside wall. I don't know if this lap's going to count. 30.1. They grabbed the wall there. Going to have to try something different here. In the second lap, I don't think he's going to have enough time with, 10 seconds remaining. And lots of drivers deciding not to set a lap. Only 21 drivers tonight heading out to qualifying. But just like that, Justin Johnson, Mark Gonzalez, top of the board here in qualifying. Team Penske, 1-2. Unfortunately for Justin and Mark, third goes to the 24, Thomas Flynn. So Thomas needed a good qualifying effort. He got one. Unfortunately, couldn't best his, Penske rivals there, if you want to call it that. He'll qualify P3. You see everybody getting into their virtual race cars tonight. Waiting on some of these drivers to, get ready to go. Obviously, a lot of tools in the shed that these drivers can do to mess with the setup here, from practice to qualifying the race. Obviously, with the master cylinders, the steering, rack and pinion steering, that they can make the steering a little bit more sensitive, a little bit less sensitive, right? All that stuff, obviously brake bias and stuff that they can adjust before they get in the car here. So waiting on, I would say, a good quarter of your field to jump in their virtual machines tonight here for your season finale here in season 11. You right there at the front, your point center, your points leader, coming into the tonight's race, the 24 Thomas Flynn, that bright orange and white Exalta Chevy Camaro. We get ready to get your starting lineup here. Still waiting on your pole sitter, Justin Johnson, but we'll go ahead and start your starting lineup here. Presented by High Velocity TV. You see Justin Johnson, top of the board there in that Penske number 22. His teammate, and Mark Gonzalez on his outside. Thomas Flynn in the 24 back there in P3. Craig Launchlotter back there in P4. James Bowles, Larry Fairman, knockout row 3 in the 35 and the 34. You'll see Nicholas Johnson, Blake Hollett rounding out row 4 and rounding out the top 10 tonight. You see the 71 of Chris Bishop and the 51 of Scott Trusty. Back here right outside the top 10, you'll see the number 45 of Justin Barkley filling in. And you'll see his, manufacturer teammate in the 11 of Charles Roberson. Back there in P13, Mike Iskandar alongside the JGR Toyota of Alyssa Sharp. Cody Meadows in the 12, back there in P15 alongside Joey Maines in 16th. 17th will go to Jeff Weimer alongside Parker Stranger in the number 42. And Steven Sear, Eric Jorgensen round out your top 20. Back here outside the top 20, you see John Hopley in the number 4. Dylan Basin back there in P22. Yeah, big work for him. You'll see Frank DeAngelis back here in P23 alongside Austin Reedy. Timothy Cook, Davey Hendricks back there in the 43 machine. Jason Steptoe, Terrence Preston, Matt Medler, and Chris Van Maastricht rounding out your top 30. Back there in 31st will be Chuck Cobb, Brian Treadwell, and Bob Wyckoff rounding out your 33 car field tonight here from Chicagoland. So everybody getting up to speed here. We get the one to go here from Chicagoland for this 134 lap race tonight. We can look at your race weather tonight coming into the Chicagoland. 76 degree air temp, 91 degree track temp. So hot and slick tonight here from Joliet, Illinois. 56% humidity and little to no wind. Mostly cloudy tonight here from Chicagoland. We do have 2 stage cautions tonight. One on lap 35, one on lap 70. 0 faster pairs, 60% fuel, 5 sets of tires tonight, including the set they have on tonight, right now. But you see the pace car. Going to take the hard left turn on pit road. Land this back over the bar near the flagman. We're going to be ready to go here for our season finale from Chicagoland. Wreck in the back here. We're going to get the caution out early. John Hopley, Davey Hendricks getting into it really early tonight here. You see a lot of damage to the 4. Saw a lot of damage to, I believe, that was the 45. Maybe that was the 43. I'm unsure here. I'll have to take a look and see what happened here early and into the race. There we go. I think we got the wreck here. Frank DeAngelis grabs the 4. Just barely gets to his outside there. Stay wide here. Really aggressive here in the first lap. See Frank walking it up the track there and just kind of frankly just hooks the 4 up the track there. Grabs Davey Hendricks with them. Davey, that looks pretty bad. Obviously, he's going to go laps down. I saw him have to tow. And caution out early here from Chicagoland. Back under caution here. Chicagoland. Season 1 to go. Looks like Justin Johnson picks the bottom. Right behind his Penske. Right in front of his Penske teammate there. So you imagine you'll see some teammate games be played there. You'll see the 22 probably try to count down this Penske teammate here in the 2 of Mark Gonzalez. Now these 2 are in must-win situations tonight. So if anything, they need to work together to make sure they can try to stay up towards the front to give themselves an opportunity to bring home a championship. Obviously, they need some misfortunes from the 24 tonight to give them an opportunity, but anything can happen here in this last race. Obviously, racing the lap 35 here, so now 24 needs to be outside the top 10 by probably lap 30 to give themselves probably to give these 2 Penske Fords and make it a little bit easier for them. We'll just have to see though. As we get ready to go back green here on lap number 5 here from Chicagoland. A good restart for the Team Penske Fords. See the 35 of James Bowles, he even jumps up into P3. Thomas Flynn goes from P2 all the way back to P4 on this restart. Trying to hold on here. See the drivers behind here. That's Nicholas Johnson looking to the top side. So the horde of cars behind. Oh, you see some drivers getting a little squirrely there, and you'll see him get around the 24. With the 24 back to P5. I'm going to be interested to see, how do these drivers race to 24? How do these drivers race to 22, right? Because these guys want an opportunity to win here in the season finale. Do you cut that 24 a break? Do you cut the 22, that 2 machine a break? A race for a championship? Or do you just go up and straight up race it straight up? Like there's nothing for you to lose. And now it looks like the 24, he's settled in. back here in the 6th place. The 34. Making a move there. They try to get up towards there. That's the 34, Larry Fairman, up inside the top 10. Larry with the drive down to the bottom. Obviously, the 34's teammates with the Penske guys, they're aligned, right? Do you think they're probably telling the 34, hey, try to race these guys, try to race that 24 as hard as you can. Put him in bad spots, make him lift, make him, you know, don't wreck him, right? I don't think that's how Penske's never been that way, right? I don't think anybody in the field's that way. They don't want to win a championship by someone, you know, getting wrecked out or something like that. But obviously, you know, if you're those front row cars, you're probably going to see them race the 24 a little bit harder than the rest of the field, trying to give those Penske drivers the best shot at the championship tonight. You see the 11, Charles Roberson underneath the 24. Almost contact with those two. Before Charles the lift here. Get back in line here down the backstretch. Further on up. Two Penske Fords going at it. They got to figure out who's going to lead this race. Because here comes Nicholas Johnson in the number 20 machine. He's going to try to make a move here. He said, I don't care that you guys are racing for it. I want to win. Team up in the outside wall, though. That's not what you want to do. See him lose a lot of momentum there. A little bit of an aero grief to the 20 machine there. He'll drop back just right over half a second there. Caution waves one more time here from Chicagoland. Like Dylan Basin potentially around here in the back. The 21, a Basin. Got up in a wreck. So Basin. Oh, man. And the 11 got loose right in front of him. Kind of just fell in Dylan's lap right there. I think you saw Charles. He just gets the apron. You see him walking it up the track. And finally just snaps on him. And he grabs the 21 there. Dylan up the track. I don't think he got any damage. Lucky for him. Everybody saw the wreck coming and was able to get up and out of the way of these guys. Caution will wave, though, for the second time this race here from Chicagoland. I see Cody Meadows. He's 5 laps down. Cody was supposed to have a replacement tonight. Bryce Bird was supposed to be in the 12 machine, but it looks like he made it last second. We actually had to do some quick changes to make sure we got Cody in the right number and everything. We welcome everybody in to the virtual Chicagoland Speedways. We say hello. We welcome everybody back in. We hope everybody's having a great Saturday afternoon. I hope everybody's looking forward to the O'Reilly race if it is still going on. And I hope you guys enjoyed that, and hopefully we can put on a good show for you guys tonight here from Chicagoland. You see lights back off on the pace car. It's been a Team Penske, powerhouse here at these front two. It's been Justin Johnson and Mark Gonzalez up towards the front all race long. He's been battling it out for the race lead since the drop of the green flag here. Get the lights back off on the pace car. See everybody back 2 by 2, ready to go green here from Juliet, Illinois. And a hard left turn down the pit road will be once again Justin Johnson. He picks the bottom. Back green. Trying to get his Penske teammate clear all around. I think he's going to get it. He's going to get the call here. It's going to be side by side for P3. James Bowles, Nicholas Johnson. Battling it out for the P3 position there. Everybody trying to duke it out there. Frank DeAngelis. He's driving his way through the field here. He's up into the P6 spot after starting from the back. On board with the 47. See him battling it out there with the 77 and the Lautenschlager. See Frank jump to the top side. And he's having dumping the aero grief in that number 47 machine. I'm gonna have to try something different here to get around here. See the 54, Alyssa Sharp up into the outside wall. Makes the pass on the 24 of Flynn though. We're about halfway, just over halfway. Done with stage one. Team Penske doing what they need to do to give themselves a shot here to win the championship. You know, Thomas Flynn has not shown the speed that he needs to. You know, he's dropped back all the way back here to P8. Granted, he does have a little bit of a cushion now. Joey Maines, you know, was a Hendrick teammate. Might not race him as hard for these stage points here. Might allow, you know, the 24 to just settle in here. Now we also have the 7 of Austin Reedy back here. I believe they're also aligned with the Hendrick guys. So I think they have a mission to, you know, help this 24 the best of their ability. But further on back, you know, you have Trusty, Trainer, Fairman. Not aligned with the 24, not aligned with HMS. Caution. Decent step toe. Looks like he had to tow that machine here. Take a look here on the replay to see what happened. The contact with the 20 and with the 6. See if this was incidental or what happened here. Go back there on that. Really nice looking car. That Space Jam upper deck machine. You see the 6 come up. You see the 23 come. I mean, you see the 23 come up. The 6 comes down just a little bit. This looks like almost kind of like net Cody weird contact, but that car is completely destroyed. He's gonna have to tow that machine. Use that fast, and that will be race over for 23. There's no fast pace here outside of, you know, the super speedways and these crown jewel races. So a night early for Parker and that 42 team. When we go live here, when we go back green, should be going back with the round. 10-ish to go here in the stage. Remember, the stage, it can be official at 30. If we get to lap 30 and the caution waves, that will be the stage. So anytime after lap 30, unless we get to 35, right, the stages can be official. So, you know, Justin and Mark are doing a good job managing the race right now here in stage 1. You know, if you're Thomas, you know, you'd ask, like, do you potentially, you know, maybe flip the stage here and try to take the lead here going into stage 2? You try to keep this track position. Obviously, he had a decent starting spot there back in 3rd. And you do what Frank is doing. He's going to flip the stage. I think Frank might have gotten out of the car here. Yeah, he did. Interesting. That's going to be interesting to see if Frank can get back into the race here. He is 1 lap down, and Frank has gotten out of the car now, has parked the car in the garage. Pace car will go in this time. The hard left turn down pit road. Gonna be the Team Penske forwards back to the stripe here in the Poet restart zone. Back green. This time, Mark Gonzalez, not the best jump. Gonna be side by side with James Bowles here for P2. The 2 getting used up there by the 20. Mark able to hold on. Still gonna be side by side for P2. That's going to allow Justin Johnson to get away. The 3 wide action back further on back now. That's the 77 of Craig. Looking bottom of 3 here on this 24 machine. There's a little bit of damage on the 77 there on that front end. Doesn't matter. He's going to be aggressive nonetheless to try to take these spots. Get back up towards the front. You see Thomas, middle of 3. See Alyssa Sharpen at 54, top of 3. You'll see Thomas give both those spots up, trying to push the 54 out. 77 will get clear further back. Well, there's 2 7. Oh, that's the 7 of Austin Reedy. I'm so used to seeing the 77 in that Chili's machine. That's Austin Reedy in the 7. Going to follow his 77 Spire teammate up inside the top 5. I want to run on board here with Joey Maines. See how he's going to approach this down. Because that 24 cannot afford to give up spots. You know, we see him battling out with the 54 of Alyssa. But the 48's got to run. You see him, he's lifting. He's lifting. To give him the spot. Alyssa up into the outside wall. Alyssa jumps at the bottom. Allow Joey to get to the top of the 54. Oh, man, Alyssa really chops the nose off of the 54 there. At the chops the nose of the 48. My apologies. What I was trying to say. Alyssa is racing this 24 hard. Thomas Flynn gets around here for P7. And you see her just driving it in. Just barely getting the ball there. It's going to slow her down. See Dylan Basin driving his way up to the field here, trying to mix it up. Obviously, it's cool to see Dylan in the series, nonetheless, with his responsibilities on the sim now. Obviously, him racing in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Championship Series. Excuse me if I'm not saying that right, but I know they just recently changed the name of it. It's cool to see Dylan up here, continuing the race with us here in iSNF. You know, putting some laps down. Obviously, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not surprised to see Dylan in here because I believe, you know, they do go to quite a few mile and a halves there in his, you know, Coke schedule. So good to get some notes down. Obviously, Coke, open set, and all that stuff. But it's still nice to take some notes down, jot them down here at Chicagoland. Obviously, a new rescan. You know, with the rescan, I might have the car drive a little bit different, right? Obviously, Dylan is probably a top 2 driver tonight. He's also going to be taking notes of, you know, how well he got through the field, how easy it is to pass, how hard it is to pass, right? Now, this is the first time we've even seen him in the top 10 this race. Damn, he's having some trouble getting around the 54 and the 48. He's been running the top. Now you see the 54 using up the 48 there, trying to keep the spot. That's going to be a 2-for-1 for Dylan. Thomas Flynn wasn't looking that quick here in kind of even the first half of this first stage. Driven back up to 6th. He's at least stopped the bleeding. You saw him get around the 54 and now the 35 of James Bowles, looking to pounce on the 7 of Reedy here in these last couple laps. We get the white flag here in stage 2. Justin Johnson and Mark Gonzalez doing everything they can to try to inch in closer and closer to that 24. Austin Reedy as you're full to 24 here. We're near the corner here for the last time in stage 1. The 24 have a run. No, you see him have to lift out of the corner. So it's going to be Justin Johnson, stage 1 winner. Mark Gonzalez back at P2. Nicholas Johnson, your podium. Greg Lautenschlager, Austin Reedy, so the 2 Spire. Two of the 3 Spire cars up here inside the top 5. And then you see Thomas Flynn, James Bowles, Dylan Basin up to P8, Joey Maines, and Alyssa grabs that last stage point here in stage 1. We're going to take a quick commercial break here. At the conclusion of stage 1, we'll be right back here for pit stops here after this quick commercial break. Missed the race off pit road there, but it looks like Justin Johnson wins the race off pit road here. Mark Gonzalez and Nick Johnson. Okay. Threw it off pit road, but got a couple of guys who've stayed out here. Talked about potentially flipping the stage. Charles Roberson back here in 26th. I don't know how he got back here. Obviously, yeah, he did get loose and, grab Dylan Basin here, but came down pit road, but we'll have to get the wave around. Very interesting. But Eric Jorgensen stays out here at the conclusion of stage 1. He'll take the race lead over. It'll be interesting how this driver is gonna keep up here. Got 16. I would say about 14 lap. Tires on this 16 machine. There's 16 laps on this 10, but obviously we've had a couple caution laps, so I'm not really going to count those. Eric Jorgensen leads his first couple laps tonight. We're ready to go through turn 3 and 4. Pace car will take the hard left turn down pit road. We'll get ready to start stage 2. The 16 of Eric Jorgensen. Back into the Poet Restart Zone. Back green from Chicagoland. The 22 able to stay side by side in the turn 1. He's going to clear the 16 out of 2. Jorgensen just trying to get out of the way. That really hurt Gonzalez, though. He goes from, basically running second for the whole race back to P4. He's got his hands full now. Here comes the 21 of Basin through the field. Seen Dylan all race long. He kind of runs this middle line, making some speed with it. You see Mark pushing hard. Get these spots back. Mark and it's Woody up into the outside wall. Here comes Basin, bottom of 3. Sitting in the wings right now. Dylan Basin up 20 spots. Up in the P2. Gonna have to try to fight with this 20 machine to get clear for P2. Dylan can't make the pass work. Nicholas holds on. Here comes Gonzalez now. He's looking to the outside of the 21. Not going to make it stick. Remember, Dylan is, technically teammates. And, Woodbuddy's machine is the most aligned with the Penske forwards in. Obviously, the 22 and that 2 need a win. They even give themselves a shot at an opportunity. And we know Dylan, he's probably a top 2, top 3 driver tonight. Depending, on how much time he put into there. I presume he didn't really do anything. I didn't see him run any practice laps. You saw him, he struggled in qualifying. And we know how adaptable this, the Lakeland native can be when it comes to jumping into a car and just figuring out what he needs to do to get back up towards the front. But will he be selfish and try to go up there and race for a win and take his teammates out of contention for a championship? Dylan, he's doing in his own race, right? No, ultimately, it's his goal to go get that 21 up to the lead and win, right? We saw him do this in prior seasons, right, for the championship finale. The Penske number 12 machine raced for a championship and needed to lead some laps, needed to get some stage wins, and everything else needed to be up towards the front. And I believe Dylan was in the 38 that race. And put the 12 in a bad spot where that driver basically not even in a position to win the race for a championship back in the playoff format, right? So you see him now side by side for P2. Gonna have to drive it in. It's tight though. The 20 still at the quarter panel. Dylan still can't clear. But we are racing a lap, I believe it's 75 here. No, lap 70. Gonzalez starting to fall through the field here. Lissa's gotten around him. Here comes the 24 of Flynn. He lost that clean air. He lost that, driver, that teammate codependency. Starting to see the handling go away on the 2. Good look at the 2 here. Nice the second, but currently falling through the pack here. It says low of 5th, but he's in 6th now, so trying to hold on. Oh, it was a 54 round. Alyssa, what a save. I don't think she got any help. I think she just got the seam or something, maybe. What a save by Alyssa. Caution will wave. I don't see anybody low on track here. Very interesting. I don't see anybody I don't see anybody that's even slow who was slow on track. I saw Blake Hulley. He was in pit road. That's where I looked at him. But he towed the pit road. And that was on lap 48. So I would hope that the 54 spinning out wouldn't cause that caution or whatever, loosen it on her own. I don't see anybody. That's going to change a lot. So it's going to stack everybody back up one more time here. We're going to be underneath 20 to go in stage 2. The 54, obviously we saw her with the slide just a lap prior. She'll come down, take her second set of tires. We'll make her way back out on track. Yeah, very interesting caution right there. I don't know what it was for, but nonetheless, we're back under yellow flag conditions. Lights on a pace car should go off to stand by. Justin Johnson with the lead. Looks like he's going to pick the bottom like he has every other restart. What do you think about this, right? Voice crack, but Justin won the stage. Thomas got E6, I believe. So that's a 6-point swing there. So the 22 machine just gained 6 points. That'll put him back now to 32 points behind. Justin needs to try to hold on and win this stage and hope that Thomas stays back there in P6. So that'll be a 12-point swing. And you're doing some simple math. That should bring it down to 26 points. 25 with the pull, right? So 24 with leading a lap. So he should be 20. If he wins the stage, he'll be 24 points behind. Still a long shot for the 22, but doing everything he can to put himself in a good spot. Back to green. Johnson with a good launch. The 21 loose off the corner. Here comes the 20 of Nicholas Johnson. Battling out for P2. Twenty will take the spot. Mark Gonzalez looking underneath the 21. Mark can't make the pass work. You're going to have to jump back in line. He's at 35, 48 side by side. James Bowles looking on the top. We see Bulls up at the outside wall. Everybody single filing out right now here in stage 2. The 24 right in front. Looking at the top of the 77. Not going to have a run, though. See Charles Roberson driving his way back up to the field. He's up inside the top 10 again. Maybe side by side with the 51. A Trusty, a little bit of contact. 22 into 3 and 4. Guy trying to hold on. Charles with the run off the top. Ooh, here comes Alyssa with those fresh tires. She's driving through the field here. A little bit of contact with the 51. Guy uses her up. Alyssa loves that top side. She's been running it all race long. Gonna try to get around the 51. She'll get clear. She's gonna try to run down her JGR teammate. I mean, this is all that really Alyssa can do, right? She kind of burned a set here. She's gonna have to drive up to the field, try to get this track position back. Up to the wall she goes again, but Charles up with the block. Honestly, if I'm Charles, I'd let her go, right? If she's going to battle with the guys in front, let her go, right? that her aerogrief, and you're like, she just did. They both go. Roberson in the 54, racing for P7, wreck each other out here. I hate to say that I called that, but man, like she was significantly faster, and he was just putting the blocks on. See right here, just a little bit of an aerogrief, and then up, he overcorrects up, takes the 54 with him. And that's probably race-ending damage for Alyssa. Not the way she wanted to end season 11. Took the gamble to come down and take, you know, some Goodyear tires. Not only that, she gets wrecked by a teammate here at, you know, later in stage 1. That's got to sting. And those are 2 competitive cars that just got taken out too. So that's going to help Thomas Flynn, you know, keep the spots here, because obviously, you know, that's what he wants, is those faster guys to continue to wreck out of the race or leave or do whatever, right? You look back at, you know, DeAngelis, he's out. Justin Barkley, he's out. Alyssa and Charles, they're both out now. Davey Hendricks, he's out early. Cody Meadows is out, right? Early. It's all starting to come in place here for this 24 team. You know, and it's got to be frustrating if you're Justin, but obviously he had a couple of bad races in the chase, and that's what put him behind the ball, right? You know, I was in the same exact situation here in when I was, you know, in the league I was racing in, where I came in behind, and I got every single point that I could, led the most laps, got the, you know, the fastest lap bonus, started from the pole, all of it, right? And I was still, I believe I was five points short, right, of getting the championship there in that series. And it's got to be frustrating if you're the 22, because he's doing everything he can to give himself an opportunity, right? But unfortunately, the 24, you know, he's having an okay race, and that's all Thomas needs, right? Finished 6th in stage 1. He's sitting back here P5 as we get ready to go green here with 6 laps to go in stage 2. And at this rate, I can pretty securely say, unless something happens to Thomas here on this little 6-lap dash here, and he loses out on stage points, there's not enough drivers to bump him out, right? I mean, there's Charles Roberson, and Alyssa, they wrecked out, and they're gonna sit back there in P22, right? There's only 21 cars left on the track. And if you think about it, if he sits back there in P5, he's going to have around a 24 to 26 point advantage out of stage 2, right? So even if he gets wrecked out, he's going to have the championship locked up unless something happens here. It's going to be Justin Johnson back to the point. 6 to go in stage 2 here from Chicagoland. Bottom did not get going. Something was wrong with that 20 machine. And that's even worse for the 22 machine, right? And now Thomas Flynn, he started on the bottom. He's up to P3 now. Comes the 20, and Nicholas Johnson underneath the 24. He's going to get clear, so 24 back to P4. Justin has to hold on for 5 more laps. 20 up and outside wall. You see side by side further back, Mark Gonzalez. Greg Lockenslaughter in the 77. Mark really wants to get clear. He needs to go run down that 24. If anything, like, he needs to clear the 24 to give himself, you know, points. But also, he needs to give that 22 points, because at the end of the day, Mark and Justin both want the same thing, a Team Penske championship. So oh, Thomas knocks the ball down out of 4. Here comes the 2 with the run. Wonder if Thomas got any damage from that. Like I said, he couldn't afford to make mistakes like that. If he got any wheel damage or any sort of residual damage from that, he's probably going to lose a little bit of time, a little bit of pace in this Exalta machine. The 2 clears back to P4. Thomas Flynn under pressure. The 77 looking to get around here. All these guys just trying to get the points here in stage 2. 77 looking underneath now. They're going to be side by side here as we get the white flag here in stage number 2. What are these 2 Spire cars willing to do to get the stage points away from the 24? And that was a bad corner for both cars. 77's going to have to drive it in if he wants the spot. Not going to make it work. Thomas Flynn will hold on to P5. Justin Johnson sweeps the stages here. He wins stage 2.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back trackside here for the start of stage 3. for the Windy City 200. Pace car is going to be off. It's going to be Joey Maines, Dylan Basin, Mark Gonzalez, Thomas Flynn, new top 4. Back to green. Dylan Basin. Down to 48. He's going to lead his first laps of the race tonight. Give it to Basin in the 21. Mark Gonzalez back to P2. But we saw the 22. Justin Johnson. He won stage 1. But now he's a lap down. Coming out of the pits now. Very interesting. Back to the front, though. Dylan Basin. Getting a little bit of pressure from the 48, Joey Maines. And Dylan, no, wrecking in the back. The 42, the 60 up on 2 tires. Jeff Weimer spins it out here. Across the stripe here. Caution will wave. What happened here towards the back of the field? The 42 and the 60 together. Jeff. Hard left turn down the back straightaway here and then spins it out down the track, grabs the 34 and the 16. You see him up on 2 tires. I'm going to go back and take a look at Jeff's inputs here because that's not what we want to see here. Yeah, I mean, go back on board here. And he just drives down the track here and grabs another couple of cars. That's not what we want to see here in the Cup Series, honestly, if you're asking me. Fortunate for that to come out like the way it did, but national wave, that'll allow Justin Johnson, I believe. No, Larry Fairman. Well, Larry got into that wreck, did he not? That should give Justin Johnson a lucky dog, I believe. Put him back on the lead lap. I'm unsure of what happened with this 22 machine. We had a server crash during the commercial break. That's so we ended up closing out of Discord for the time being. Keep the action on the track here. Justin gets the lucky dog. He's going to drive down pit road again. I guess service his car one more time. I mean, I know for sure we're not good to make it to the end here because we're only running 60% fuel, so I guess Justin just going to fill up a little bit more on some Sunoco race fuel. Not going to have a lot of time, though. He's out of pit road now. We get the one to green. Basin continues the lead here. See if he'll give us the appropriate amount of laps led. There we go. Yeah, I think it will. 77 of 81. Sounds about right. We'll go back to like someone like Justin because we know he led laps tonight. Yeah, I didn't think it would. Unfortunately, yeah, we had that server crash here on our end. So it's not going to show us anything before we lost connection here. Justin approaching the back. And the field here looks like he's coming out of 2 now. He should be able to get back here in time for the restart. Well, speaking of the restart, we're going to hand it back over to Dylan Basin, and the 21 will be a Ford Chevy front row. Dylan Basin, Joey Maines up inside the top 2. Mark Gonzalez, Thomas Flynn, your fast 4. Basin back to green. Another great jump. He gets shot out like a rocket here in the turn 1 and 2. Is some contact 3 wide further back. The 2 using up the 48 a little bit down the back straight, back stretch actually. Still going to be side by side for P2. Mark going to use that side draft to try to pull back the 48. A little bit of an arrow push by the 7 down the tri-oval. The 7 going to get in line here on the top side. 2 going to jump in line. Just enough for him to get him clear. Basin starting to get away. We saw this in that first run after start of stage 3 here. At the start of stage 3, saw this 21 start to slowly pull away here with that clean air. About a half a second lead now over the 2 of Mark Gonzalez as he clears for the second place position. Dragging to 77, looking underneath the 24. A little bit of contact. You see him babying with the throttle, trying to play with it. Trying to keep this thing up to speed. Remember, this dirty air is pretty bad here, especially in these next-gen cars, right? You see I think that's the big reason why you've seen the 77 jump down underneath the 24. Just the dirty air. He can't really afford to sit behind and run the line that Thomas is. He's got to search around and go where the 24 isn't. You see the 24 now goes to the bottom underneath his teammate here. Looks like Joey will just let him have it. I really hope that Joey's just saving his stuff or something like that. There's been a couple times now where we've seen just the 48 just lift and let the 24 go. If he's gonna let the 24 go, he better just let everybody go. And that's the way I see it. I understand the 24 is in the spot to win a championship, but also you are a race car driver. The 48 up at the outside wall. And that car's broken. Nick Johnson, contact with the 48. See the contact here between the 20 and the 48 here. At 20, I maybe thought he was clear, but broke the. Looks like maybe the right front. Looks like that left front's still rolling. Probably broke the right front off the 48. That's probably Ray Cinder for Joey Maines. See him coming down pit road. Fortunate. See some side-by-side further back. Justin Johnson trying to drive his way through the field again. Underneath the 71 of Bishop. See Bob Wyckoff holding it strong there on the top side. Bob inside the top 10. Look at his stats for today. Look at the highs and lows for Bob in that 41 Haas factory team to end the season. Started back there in 33rd. Dead last. Has kept that car clean up inside the top 10. Really good run for Bob here in the season finale. See right in front of Bob, actually. Another battle, Justin Johnson. Trying to make the move for P8. And then with that said and done, I'm pretty sure Justin not capable of winning the championship now with how many drivers are left. There's only 17 drivers on the lead lap. And he swept the stages. Probably going to get the... I don't know if he's actually going to get the most laps led. If with Dylan up front here with the clean air, it's going to be hard for these drivers to get back to Dylan. You know, if anybody's going to know how to set a pace here and get away slowly, it's going to be this 21. But right now, for sure, Justin by far has the most laps led. I believe he led the first 70. I believe he swept all the stage 1 and stage 2, leading every lap of the race. So actually, I don't know, man. Gonna be close. If I don't think Dylan, if Justin in fact led every lap of the race, well, he didn't. I think he led 69, maybe even 68. Remember the 16 of Jurgensen, the 16 of Jurgensen. Remember, he stayed out there after stage 1, led a couple laps. That took a couple of laps away from the 22, and then obviously Dylan's led since the start of stage 3. So. The 21 just running this bottom side. Starting to slowly but surely pull away. Get a battle for P2 kind of heating up. Austin Riddy trying to run down the 2 here of Gonzalez, but they're kind of running the same line, which is not going to help the 7 get to him, right? As soon as he gets within, you know, once again back, you know, within, I would say, you know, a 10th, gets back into that, you know, dirty area. He's just going to continue to kind of be plainer, right? I forgot to rejoin the broadcast booth here after our commercial break, but
Want to, go over some things. Did you go over the Hall of Fame inductees
no,
yet?
I did not. I was waiting because you said you wanted to do it, and obviously you
I
weren't here for
do.
pre-race, so yeah.
Yeah, I got caught at work because one of the other buses had a flat tire, and I had to cover the next tram. So anyway, got off late. Here I am. Want to, go over some things. Did you go over the Hall of Fame? Yeah. Inductees yet? So yeah, we have the 2026 Hall of Fame, iSNF Hall of Fame inductees to go over. And I'm still live on air, right?
Yep, we're still going, yeah.
Okay. Let's go over those inductees. We do have from the Founders Ballot, Jeff Weimer. Congratulations to Jeff Weimer, and appreciate all he's done for the league. He's been here since day one. Him and Barkley have been here pretty much since day one, so we really appreciate their dedication to the league for 6 straight years. Inactive champions ballot, we have Austin Cook, who was the Cup Series Season 1 champion that went on to kind of start a career in Legends and other, I think, mods now he's moved up to. So he started off in Bandoleros, and then he moved on to Legends. I think he's on to mods now locally there in Georgia. He races at Cordele a lot. So he used a lot of what he learned here from ISNF and applied it to the real deal. So we wish him nothing but luck and the best, and he definitely deserves to be in the iSNF Hall of Fame. Danny Solo would be the next inactive champion to come on board, as well as a Hall of Fame inductee. He is a Truck Series champion and definitely put in a lot of hard work and a lot of wins and some controversial stuff along the way too. But nonetheless, he brought a lot of entertainment value as well. So, you can kind of see the good and the bad there. But nonetheless, the people spoke, and Danny Solo is going to be in the ISNF Hall of Fame. Now, from the active champions ballot, we have Mr. Steven Sear, the driver of the number 5 Chevrolet out there for Hendrick Motorsports. So we welcome him to the ISNF Hall of Fame. Obviously, long-term admin, one of my personal friends, but he also does race reviews. He really steps up when I'm not able to, and we really appreciate Steven, his dedication and hard work he's put in over the years. So he's definitely deserving as well. Justin Barkley, he's a fan favorite. He usually wins things like most popular driver, again, founding member as well. But he also has won a Cup Series championship, so that's why he found himself on the active champions ballot. The people spoke, and he's in as well. So very deserving for him. Honorable mentions, and one of the reasons why Dylan Basin is in today's race. He's the honorable mentions ballot winner, inductee to the ISNF Hall of Fame. A lot of people voted for Mr. Basin, so he does come in, kind of stink up the show every now and again. But nonetheless, you cannot argue his skill behind the wheel. He is definitely a force to be reckoned with, and we appreciate him being part of the league on a part-time basis. But the people have spoke, and the honorable mentions ballot belongs to him. So that is your 2026 ISNF Hall of Fame. We do not do that every season. We just do it every calendar year. It is Founders Week here at iSNF, so not just a shout out to Jeff Weimer, but also to Brian Treadwell, and as well as Justin Barkley, Eugene Thorne, and guys like John Hopley, and folks like that have been around a really, really long time. We really appreciate everything that you do for the league and your dedication, like I said. And, it's definitely not ignored. But we do this every year just to kind of honor all of the hard work. And, we'll be looking forward to a new season next season. And it won't start until July 25th for the first points race. July 18th, we'll have the duels, which will be obviously the non-points qualifying races for the Daytona 500, which will be the following week. So looking forward to almost a month off, Christian. A little bit different than what we normally do, but I figured everybody deserved a nice break. It is summer after all, so a lot of folks want to spend some time outside. So gives us a chance to kind of reset a little bit too, and get some new graphics up and get ready for a new season of action here on HVTV. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for season 12 as we look into the future, obviously, to see, what can make it bad. Obviously, you mentioned switching from SDK over to ATVO and making the plane over here, but going to be exciting to see, how that comes to be, what happens here. Obviously, I've talked about it a couple times here on the broadcast, but I feel like there's going to be, there's been a little bit of a change of the guard here when it comes to, iSNF. We've, had a lot of drivers who are stepping away from full-time action. Now we've seen, show up for the last, 4 or 5 seasons. And, there's a lot of new drivers who are, going to be full-time and, going to be the faces of iSNF here in the future. And it's going to be interesting to see how, this league continues to change and form into, its new kind of generation of drivers, showing up every Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I agree. It's very exciting. And I also think, too, that we are going to end up with a pretty good silly season. I think there's going to be a lot of shuffling around. A couple of teams I don't see a whole lot of movement in would be Penske and Hendrick, but I do expect a lot of movement elsewhere. Teams like RCR, RFK, maybe. It's hard to say. 2311. I really do see a lot of potential silliness going on off season. And like I said, it does give us a little bit extra time to go ahead and work through that, make sure everybody's happy with their new ride, teammates, etc. We're never going to end up with a 100% satisfaction rate, but, at least we try. Looks like Mark Gonzalez just pitted. Green flag pit stops are on the way. Dylan Basin also made a pit stop as well. And I am watching your broadcast, by the way, so it is a delayed reaction. I'm not watching the live. But anyway, just wanted to pop in. I want to say thank you to my viewers as well. Anybody that has smashed that like button throughout the season, subscribe to HVTV, supported the league. We really, really appreciate you guys for watching, your support, your energy, your comments. It all means a lot to the league. And, we also appreciate your harsh honesty once in a while, too. I mean, heck, we all need a little wake-up call once in a while. So, some people get a little butthurt, but, for the most part, we just take it as a challenge to get better. So, appreciate everybody out there. Appreciate you, Christian. Thank you so much for a solid season. It's been great. I know there's been some gremlins here and there, but there hasn't been one broadcaster in our booth since the beginning of broadcasting with iSNF that hasn't had gremlins. So you're just joining a very long list of broadcasters who also had issues throughout season. So don't take it personal. I know you don't, but just telling you not to. And looking forward to working with you next season.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens next season as we look into the future.
Yes, sir. Well, we're about to crown a champion this tonight. Looking forward to seeing who that's going to be. And then we crown the iSNF O'Reilly Series champion tomorrow. And I'm kind of anxious to see who that's going to be. It looks like the 35 of Bowles just spun a little bit there in front of the leader, Parker Standrick, probably coming into the pits there. So I'll let you get back to calling the action since I'm not any use for that or help. But I may or may not pop in during post-race interviews and congratulate whoever does win. But if I don't, then otherwise, we'll see you here again soon.
Yeah, well, we appreciate your time. And, you're more than welcome to come up if you want to talk to our winners/champions. And, if not, we look forward to next season.
All right, sir. Good luck calling the race. Yep. All right, yeah.
And as soon as Rhea leaves, we get a caution here. Looks like Joey Maines potentially had an issue here. Oh man, the 77 and the 88 and the 48 get together here through the tri-oval. Take a different look at this. See some contact between the 2 and the 77. And the 77. Yeah, it's kind of awkward because you see the 48. He's definitely coming down the track. I think the 77, he sees, you know, his teammate down there on the bottom and just does not want to give the space. And unfortunately, the 48 they just kind of meet in the middle there, right? So I wouldn't really call that on either or, but caution waves here. Luckily, the pit cycle kind of finished there for the most part. There's going to be a couple guys who have to still come down. You see Chris Van Maastricht, he was actually leading the race as the caution came out. And lucky for everybody else, you know, the pit cycle was mostly done. So most of the guys who were up front are going to cycle back to the front by the looks of it. So Dylan Basin will not be the leader, though, by the looks of it. He's actually going to come down pit road. That makes me think that these guys have an extra set, potentially, that they came down and took. So if that's the case, I mean, Chris really got lucky there. I mean, there's Nicholas Johnson's going to be the first one off pit road. And it looks like maybe a 2-tire stop for the first guys down pit side here. Nicholas, Austin, Justin, and Thomas. And then Chris is going to be the first guy on 4 fresh tires here. We should be going green here with 14 laps to go. I'm interested to see how these 2-tire stops potentially work here, because I think I feel like at these 1.5 miles, maybe if you're underneath 10, I would take 2, right? But we're going to be going with just under 15, right? So that's going to cycle Mark. He's got a little bit older set tires on it, about 7, 8 laps of tires here, as well as Steven Sear. They stay out. They want the track position over the tires by the looks of it. So they're going to inherit your race lead. So it's going to be the 2 and the 5. Forward Chevy front row. So it's going to be a 14-lap shootout to the end. Not a whole lot of cars left. It looks like 15 cars. Going to battle it out here for a win tonight. Pace car will come down pit road. 14-lap shootout. Mark Gonzalez back to the green flag. Back green here from Chicagoland. See Steven getting used up there on the top. Remember, has the older tires. Mark Gonzalez to the bottom. You'll see the 20 of Nick Johnson. Those fresher tires. Jump to the top here, trying to build that momentum to get back to the 2 machine. With 13 to go here from Chicagoland. These two got a little bit of a gap here. Back to Austin Reedy. Reedy running on the bottom. You see Justin Johnson back up to P4. And Thomas Flynn, who should clinch your championship here easily here if he can even just finish the race, honestly. Here comes Dylan Basin, top. To the top. Hall of Fame inductee for tonight's race. Wow, Justin, a huge block to the 24. Going to slow them both up. Here comes the 21 to the bottom. Momentum is better for that 24. He clears the 22. Jason back in the line. Dude, this is P1 and P2 in points right here for fourth and fifth. Granted, Justin, really nothing he can do now with 10 to go. He's racing for pride right now. I don't think there's any way that he can take this championship away unless he somehow finds a way to get up there and win this race. And then I don't even know if that's going to be enough, right? So nine to go for Mark Gonzalez. Mark is one of those drivers who are also in a must-win. He technically has a shot. He's going to have to hold off the 20 of Nicholas Johnson. He's hungry for a win. And he's running faster lap times. Using that top to build momentum. Mark's still planted at the bottom. Jim just build so much speed down the backstretch. Oh, he's up an outside wall though. Going to lose about half a tenth this time. A 4.9 to a 5.8. So about a tenth slower that time. Now the 20 up to the outside wall now. He's got to find something better now. He wants a shot here. Now 7, almost 8 tenths back. He's got the rest of the back half of the field now. He's going to have to fend off. I think that 20 might have some damage. Oh, the 7! Overcorrects, grabs Thomas Flynn, grabs the 22. Caution will wave. Austin Reedy around here in the final 7 or so laps. And a huge hit for the 7. I think he saw the 20 having an issue here. Just overstepped the car. You see him losing it, overcorrect. Basing around. You see the 24 around. I heard an engine expire. I thought that was maybe the 24. I think that might have been the 7. We'll back it up here. On board with Dylan Basin. You're right there. Just a snap up the track. Nowhere to go. For the 21, you see the 7 sliding down the grass. A lot of damage to the 24 as well. The 22 of Justin Johnson, I think he got caught up into it as well. Caution will wave here. Won't get NASCAR overtime quite yet because the caution, I believe, flew with 6 laps to go. Looking at Thomas Flynn here. He's going to limp it out here. I think he saw that the 22 brought it out on track, and he just kind of has to do what the 22 does, regardless of how that car drives. '22 with some left front, but the 24 completely destroyed. Outside of the 70, he's probably the one with the worst damage here. A lot of steering damage, a lot of wheel damage to the 24 machine. If I'm the 24, are we getting ready to go win the green? I believe we will be, so. Dylan Bason's going to stay out here with the damage. If he can hold on. It's going to open the doors for some new drivers, though. To potentially get a good finishing position here. You look at Trusty back here. In P3. He jumped up quite a few spots. You look at the 88 of Terrence Preston, man. We haven't heard from him all season long. He's been sneaking in, you know, some top 10 finishes. I don't think he's gotten the top 5 this season, but in a really good spot here in the finale. To not only get a good finish, but potentially, if he's got the car, go race for his first win of the season. You know, I almost got my first win of the season here at Chicagoland in the season finale, so it'd be really cool to see that happen here tonight. Now, I happen to be driving in the 77 machine, that Spire 77, but it's cool to see if Terrence can get it done. Maybe the 71 of Bishop. Maybe he get his first win. Regardless, it's going to be a 3-lap dash to the finish. Mark Gonzalez back to the restart zone, back green, and not the best jump for the two. Nick Johnson going to be side by side through 1 and 2. The 2's going to have the bottom. That's going to be the preferred lane on the restarts. He should be able to get clear, but not by much. Remember, that 20 might have a little bit of damage, so see that right front. Does he have anything for the 2 machine here? See Basin top of 3. Further back, trying to take that podium spot away. Basin trying to limp that damaged car to a podium finish. That damage is holding him back here. Here comes James Bowles. He's got fresh tires. We get the white flag. James Bowles is going to fly by this 51, I think. He came down pit road there. Didn't have any damage. Took the tires. But Mark Gonzalez, they're 3 and 4 for the final time. Not going to be your champion, but he's going to end season 11 on a high note, as he's going to go back to back here. As he's going to win Chicagoland. A dominating performance last week from Nashville. This time, puts the pieces together. He gets it done here from Chicagoland. Look at that. Nicholas Johnson, James Bowles, your podium spots. Dylan Basin, 4 up here at the end. Something happened in this 21. Went from battling for the... Regardless, went from battling there. See Mark Gonzalez across the stripe here. We'll see if he wants to burn it down here from Chicagoland. A little congratulatory bump from his teammate. Now, Mark did win. The question is does he have enough to, you know, steal the championship? I don't know if that's possible. See him do his classic half Polish victory lap here. Gonna say hi to the fans.
Well, sir, to answer your question, I just ran the points. I asked some fellow drivers what the actual stage breaks were, so I can make sure that as soon as we cross the checkered line and get everybody across, can run the points. And Thomas Flynn is your season 11 ISNF Cup Series champion. Well, sir, to answer your question, and it is by a mere 16 points.
Yeah, it was gonna be interesting to see. Obviously, Thomas had a huge points lead coming into the night, but unlike it was kind of an un-Thomas Flynn like race. Didn't show, the speed that I thought he would at these mile and a halves, and got caught up late in the race there. I mean, he'll still come home. We'll see here in this 24 machine, P14, right? So I didn't know if there was enough points to take for this 2 machine, but it's too little, too late for Mark and Justin here. They'll still, a good season for both those two. But
I mean, they went out in a flame of glory. I mean, Mark Gonzalez and Justin Johnson, they're both tied for P2 with 25-10 apiece, and Thomas Flynn with 25-26. So literally, Justin and Mark are tied for that P2 position on the final standings. But Thomas Flynn is indeed your season 11 iSNF Cup Series champion. So congratulations to him and the Hendrick Motorsports camp over there. And Chris Otto comes in P4 despite missing today's race. I think he did some math and realized that despite his plans missing the race, he would probably still finish P4 where he did, and he was right. Charles Roberson rounds out your top 5 in overall standings. Cody Meadows, P6, Craig Lawton Slogger, P7, Will Austin, 8th, Nicholas Johnson, 9th, and Joey Maines will round out your top 10 in points for season 11. So congratulations to those drivers. Very good run, and, good season. We have some things we got to clean up regarding wrecks and behavior and things like that, but that's what the silly season is all about coming up, and we'll get some of those things addressed, and we'll try it again for season 12. But yeah, congratulations to Mark Gonzalez and Team Penske for winning the race, though, and going out trying. So we'll get them next year.
We'll see what we can do here with that Team Penske camp. Obviously, like you said, seems like that camp's not going to change a whole lot. So just to see if they can, get back on the horse and try again in season 12.
Indeed. Well, it looks like there's some teammate action down there celebrating with Mr. Flynn. I'll go ahead and let you take over the rest of the broadcast here. And again, congratulations to everyone, the race winner as well as the champion. So we'll see you guys later.
We appreciate it, Rhea.
Yep.
We'll get ready. The Drag Your race winner tonight, Mark Gonzalez here in the number 2 machine. Hey, Mark, it's Christian up here in the HVT booth. Got a copy?
I got a copy.
Well, a win for you. Going back-to-back here to end season 11. Obviously, just not quite enough to go run down that 24 in points. You and the 22 did really everything you could tonight to maximize your day, to give yourselves an opportunity. But unfortunately, for you and, your Penske teammate, not going to be able to, crown a championship for you and Team Penske. But, coming home victorious tonight, obviously looked like Justin had a good opportunity to win tonight. Something happened with him, and you kind of took over the reins here late in the race and get your second win in the last 2 weeks here at the end of the season.
Yeah, I was just trying to keep that momentum from last week. Like I said, just trying to get a win and keep that momentum for next season. Hopefully this is my highest playoff standing, so hopefully I can, get 2 more spots and get that championship overall. I had 2 races where I kind of blew it. I had Watkins Glen where I sped him down pit road, and then Charlotte where I had internet connection issues. So I feel like those 2 wins, they would have really helped me today and at least be a little bit closer and put a lot of pressure on Flynn.
Yeah, and, talking about the points, you said 2 spots better. Actually, you and Justin tied in points somehow after, Justin having the second half of the race not go his way. So you two tying in points with you winning tonight, him coming home P7, and obviously you two getting stage points in both stages. So, but yeah, it's still nonetheless a good season for you guys. You know, walk us. You know, coming to Chicagoland, obviously a lot of good drivers showed up tonight. Walk us through the strategy. Obviously, it looked like you and your teammate looking pretty quick throughout the race tonight. But walk us through the race tonight.
Yeah, I noticed that on entry it was getting very loose. If you pointed, like if you got out of throttle too fast, it would point the car really down into the inside lane, so it would really get your tires loose. And I knew that would be a deal breaker coming later in the run because off the exits it's so loose, and you just really need to conserve that right rear.
Obviously, you know, we talked about Chicagoland and how abrasive it is and everything else, you know, comparatively to, you know, the other kind of cookie cutter mile and a half. It's definitely the track that burns up the most tires. Obviously, did you come in knowing that tire wear was going to be a thing here tonight?
Yeah, I did. I ran a couple other leagues here, and so I knew that it was going to be a driver's track for sure. So I knew that you just had to really bite your time and try to take care of your tires and keep your car neutral throughout the corner.
Well, you definitely did a good job doing that, and obviously capitalizing at the end there with a couple of cautions. Obviously, you know, getting a lucky break there with how the green flag pit cycle came out, giving you the race lead. You know, you staying out on a little bit older tires there, but you know, nonetheless, when that caution came out, was it a no brainer for you to um stay out here and take the gamble?
Yeah, I already gambled on coming in, and I had 4 laps tires or 4 lap tires whenever the caution came out. So I was like, I might as well just stay out because I really haven't ran that many laps on the tires, and I knew they would cool down on the pace lap. So I was gambling on staying out, and hopefully whatever came after that is whatever.
Well, obviously the gamble paid off here for you and this two team going back to back here. Then season 11, obviously looking forward into season 12. You talked about wanting to build that momentum coming into next season. What's kind of the outlook for you and this whole two team?
I think we could really win the championship next season. I just think we need a little bit more consistency. I know that a couple of races that I had DNF, so if I could just stay on track and not get some DNFs, I think I could really put on a run for the championship.
Well, I'm excited to see what you and this two team can do next season. And you know, another congratulations, a two in a row here to end the season. But Mark, before we let you go, anybody you want to thank, appreciate, or shout out here for the last time in season 11?
Yeah, I want to thank the two squad. I know they've been grinding it out all season and helping me out repair the car throughout the season. I also want to thank Team Penske guys. They're awesome to be around and talk around the race and get their thoughts on what's happening throughout the race. I also want to thank Ria for putting on a good league. I know she gets a lot of banter about stuff, but I mean, I think it's a good league, and I really love coming every Saturday to come race with these guys. And I really want to thank you for doing the broadcasting throughout the whole season.
Well, we definitely appreciate the kind words up here in the booth. And once again, Mark, another congratulations back to back here from Nashville and then here from Chicagoland. We look forward to seeing, you know, what run you can put together here coming into season 12.
Thank you. Have a good one. Good luck on Sunday.
Yep. Thanks. Mark Gonzalez goes back to back here and the end of the season tonight. And we'll go ahead and talk to the 20 of Nicholas Johnson here. He finishes P2 from Chicagoland. Nick, it's Christian
Hello.
up here in the HFT booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Well, obviously a P2 finish for you and this whole 20 team. Obviously, a bit of a rough chase for you in season 11, but obviously the last race of the season showed a lot of speed tonight. Obviously, you got a couple of cautions in your favor, right, to get the track position back, and you're able to drive up the P2. Is there anything you could have done different to get to the two?
Yeah, right before that yellow came out, like 2 laps before, I slammed into I think you caught it on the broadcast, I slammed into the wall and it turned my wheel like 45 degrees to the left, and after that I was kinda out of contention to win the race because before that I was just kinda biding my time because I knew I had the pace to get by him, I just needed to get to his outside. So I was kinda taking it real slow, and then I ruined my own race there, ruined the only chance to win. But I'm still happy with the P2. It's been a while since I've been up here. Like, I should have been here last week, but Joey Maines, I did Joey Maines things. So
Obviously, a rough, chase for you in the 20 team, like we mentioned. Obviously, you've had the speed nonetheless at most all the tracks, but just wrong place, wrong time for a lot of stuff. You know, uh, when it comes to this season, looking into next season, what is some things you want to improve on to potentially actually put yourself in contention for a championship next season?
I think I missed a lot of races this year or this season. So I think that's one of the things that kind of took me like attention to even get to the top 5 even. And other than that, just kind of staying out of wrecks. Like I did a good job today and last week, and I got 2 top 5s back to back. So I think I just need to take this momentum that I have from finishing the season and taking the next. I think we're getting new leadership next year as well, or next season as well. So that's gonna be interesting, and we'll see. I'm excited.
Yeah, well, an impressive run nonetheless for you in this 20 team tonight here. Coming home P2 from Chicagoland, just behind Mark there. But another good finish for you. We look forward to seeing what you can do next season. But Nicholas,
Thank
before we let you go, anybody you want to thank, appreciate, shout out for the last time here this season?
Yeah, Charles, just for giving me the 20. It's my favorite car. So I like the paint schemes. It was fun to have him as my owner, and yeah, I'm excited for next season.
We look forward to seeing what you can do next season here in season 12. Obviously, probably back with the JGR guys. But congratulations on another good finish tonight. We look forward to talking to you some more. Hopefully, up in the
Thank
podium
you, thank you,
spots
thank you,
this next season.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Nicholas Johnson, P2 here from Chicagoland, and we'll talk to James Bowles. I don't think we've had James Bowles up here in a podium spot here this season. Obviously he was running part time and obviously got the 35 full time here with 2311. Let's talk to the 23 to the 35 at James Bowles. Hey James, is Christian up here in HVTV booth? You got a copy?
Hello, old friend.
Yeah, long time no see, especially up here in the podium spot. But obviously, coming home P3 there, you took those 4 fresh Goodyear tires. Walk us through the race tonight. Walk us what got you back up here into a podium spot.
Well, I think midway through that green flag run during stage 2, I decided to pit in a little early so I can see if I can make more spots up on pit road compared to the leaders, and I did. And the caution played in my favor. The second to last caution, that is. I was going to pit under that, and I didn't, and I was going to take 2. Thankfully, I made the smart move and stayed out. When the next caution happened, I was like, okay, this is the perfect opportunity to take that last out of 4. So I took the 4, was at least the second car with 4 tires in the scoreboard. Took the restart, got a huge run, avoided the chaos surprisingly clean around me, which is kind of rare at a mile and a half. And I passed the Coke Series driver on the white flag. I didn't think I was going to do that today, but I did that. And got around for a P3. So all in all, great day for this Monster Energy Toyota 2311. Solid day all around.
Obviously, kind of a interesting season for you. Obviously, you came in gonna be part time and then got the 35, full time. Is there a plan of action coming into next season for what you're gonna do here in the Cup Series?
Well, I'd like to be a team owner in the Cup Series and a driver. That's the only thing I haven't done yet. But whatever happens. Either way, I I'm hoping to come be full time, but preferably I'd like to own a team and get my own little pack of drivers.
That'd be pretty cool to hear. Obviously, back in the day, you used to be my team owner in the O'Reilly series, so it'd be, one last thing to check off here for you here in the iSNF, series and all that. But
well, I got a Truck Series championship or a Rally Series championship last season. The only thing I need is a Cup win and a Cup championship, and I'll have the trifecta.
there you go. Well, a good goal to aim for coming in the next season, but obviously a good run for you tonight here from Chicagoland, James. We look forward to seeing what you can do, whether it is putting a team together, whether it is, going to go try to race for a championship, whatever that is. We look forward to seeing what you can do next season. But before we let you go, for the last time, is there anybody you want to thank, shout out, appreciate for this good run tonight here from Chicagoland?
I'd like to thank my girlfriend Taylor, who's probably in Arkansas right now at work still. I don't know if she's got power right now. Um, Shout out to you for putting on the broadcast, Christian. High Velocity TV, Soul Eater Discord, Poke Empire Discord. My JGR teammates, Alyssa, Charles, Nick, fun racing with them all season. Um, Definitely had some good moments there, and had some. This is probably this was a fun season for me, even though I wish I raced majority of the races. Still, all in all, it was better than last season for sure.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting season to say the least, but yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see what you can do next season. Hopefully, owning a team, like you said. But we congratulate you on a good run here that end season 11, and yeah, hopefully we can talk to you some more up here in Victory Land potentially if you can put something together.
I've been waiting 3 damn years. Let's make it happen.
Let's see. We'll have to see. But we appreciate your time up here in the booth, and we wish you good luck in the next season.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you, guys.
James Bowles comes home P3, and it's time to talk to the man of the, I guess, the year, right? We'll go ahead and talk to your season 11 champion. We saved the best for last here. We'll talk to your season 11 champion tonight here. The 24, Thomas Flynn, that Hendrick Motorsports machine. He gets it done here tonight. Finishes P14, but nonetheless enough to get that championship under his belt. Let's talk to Thomas. Thomas, it's Christian up here in HVTV booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, first of all, a huge congratulations. First championship here, I believe, in iSNF, but obviously you're definitely your first Cup Series championship for this whole 24 team. What's the feeling? What's the emotion right now for you in this whole 24 team?
Man, it was a lot. Um, we had a really good season this year, but just tonight was pretty stressful, especially at the end there. Cars wrecking in front of you, and I had 9 minutes of damage, and I thought, that was it. You do all these races every weekend and put in all these laps, and it almost got taken away from me there with, I don't know, 5 to go. So pretty grateful that, we were able to get in the position we were in this year and come out on top.
Obviously, we talk about Thomas and we talk about you being consistently, a top 5 guy, right? We've talked to you probably, 85, 90% at the end of these broadcasts, just bringing it home with a good finish. And obviously, I feel like that's, been your bread and butter. Obviously, only one win on the season, and it was, at a Crown Jewel event, your home track at Charlotte. But, walk us through, the mentality that kind of got you up here into a championship fight. We obviously, when we talk to you, it's always about, just getting the best finish out of it. But, what truly do you think was the difference to, to get you down here as a champion for season 11?
I think this format, you've said it pretty much every time we talk, you just got to be consistent. It's not points you get points for winning the race, obviously, but it's not winning you're in. So there's not those one-off guys making it in and taking your spot. But so yeah, just being consistent, trying to finish in the top 5, top 10 every race, and stringing it along, and that's what we did this year. So glad we were able to come out on top.
And you did that and did that to a great manner, right? Obviously, came in 38 points above the cutoff, and obviously knowing that, right? Was there any stress? Obviously, you said at the end there you're kind of a little bit worried, but coming in tonight, we know you're really good at these mile and a halves. Was there any? Was there too much stress? When it came into it, knowing that there was still like a tiny chance that the two Penske Fords, back there in P2 and P3 had a chance to get to you tonight.
Um, you know, this is kind of what I've had my mindset all season long, is just to worry about myself and my car and where I can finish. Um, and obviously it worked out for me, but I'll be honest, when I was lining up to grid and I saw the 22 on the pole, I knew we were gonna have our hands full. But yeah, great season. Happy we were able to do it. I know Justin's a little upset that we had a late race caution there, but he had a hell of a season. It was fun racing against him, getting up, betting against each other, and came down to the wire at the end.
Yeah, it's not common, especially here, on the sim, that it comes down to one race for the crown of champion, and not one race for three drivers, and yet less two. So it was definitely exciting to see, you in this 24 team, Justin and Mark, battle it out there towards the end. But you come out on top. You look at your stats tonight. Um, 7 podiums, 10 top fives, 16 top tens. I mean, that's exactly what you need to do coming into it. You led the league in top 10 finishes, and that's what you need to do. Obviously, Justin close behind with 14, but yeah, just got it done throughout the whole season. Was there at the end every time, right? And there was so many times where I was like, man, where did that 24 come from? And that's what you've always been good at, is just getting the finish, that the best finish you can. And now you get to sit in victory lane as a champion. Looking into next season though, Thomas, obviously, uh coming from a high, have to get back down to the low, right? Put your head back down here going into season 12. What's the outlook going into next season?
I mean, you just gotta enjoy this one for a little bit, but if we're gonna come back and do this all over again, you start at 0 points, so clean slate. We're gonna try and do the same thing we did all season long this year, so it'll be interesting. Got a couple of different tracks on the schedule, so excited to hop back in this 24 and do it all over again.
Yeah, I mean, if you can even do like 90% of what you did this season, I think you'll have a really good shot at getting it done again next season. But Thomas, another congratulations. First Cup Series championship for you, and obviously first Cup Series championship for that whole HMS team in a while here. So congratulations on that. Obviously you earned it. Worked your tail off here throughout the whole season to get yourself in a spot here. Coming into Chicagoland, just to have to hold on. Um, at the very end here, coming home P14, but obviously still a champion in your own right. But another congratulations. Before we let you go, Thomas, anybody you want to thank, appreciate, or shout out coming home, your season 11 champion?
Yeah, I want to thank you for getting up here and putting this on, Rhea for putting this whole league on. Want to thank my teammates, Steven, Joey, Chris Otto, and it's been a great season racing with them. Want to thank Steven for allowing me to get in this car and win this championship this year. But then want to thank my boys Jacob and Landon. They've been watching me every weekend racing, so shout out to them as well.
Well, I definitely know that Steven's super proud of you and this whole team, because I know he's been trying to get the guy for a while there for Hendrick to get a championship under his belt, and you did it. You brought Steven home his first championship in a while, and I know he's super happy for you, and I am too. You definitely earned it. So but another congratulations to you on a season 11 championship, and we look forward to seeing what you can do next season, season 12, maybe going back to back.
Thanks, Christian. We'll see you in Daytona.
Alrighty, have a good rest of the night.
You too.
Thomas Flynn, your season 11 champion here from Chicagoland, and what a way to do it. He talked about being a little nervous coming into the night, with Justin being on the pole. Obviously, him getting wrecked out late. He technically finished on the lead lap back there in P14, but got caught up with the 7, just overcorrecting out of turn 4 there, trying to just get the most out of it. And he said, he thought it was over, right? But I believe Rhea said there was a 12-point advantage to the 24, even after having the poor finish there. Obviously, Mark, if Mark had a couple like better finishes throughout the chase, I think he probably could have been your champion tonight. But like you said, Watkins Glen overdid it, wrecked the car early. Charlotte, I would say Mark's arguably probably one of his best tracks, was having the blinking issues, got kicked out of the session, ended up finishing laps down, right? If that doesn't happen, I think Mark has something to say tonight here about your champion. But regardless, that's not how it works, right? You can't. I mean, it's so easy to do the what ifs in these types of situations, but it's black and white, right? Mark did not win. Thomas did, right? He is your season 11 champion. He earned it. And a big congratulations to Thomas, the whole Hendrick camp. Huge congratulations to Steven. I know he's been, like I said, when I was talking to Thomas, he's been waiting for to get the guy here in the HMS camp to lead the team and be that guy to be a championship contender. And not only was he a contender, Thomas Flynn comes home a champion here from Chicagoland. But time to wrap up the broadcast tonight. We'll go ahead and take a look at your take a look at your unofficial race results here for the Windy City 200 here from Chicagoland to wrap up season 11. We obviously talked to your top 3 finishers: Mark Gonzalez, Nick Johnson, and James Bowles. Good finishes for all those 3 drivers. Scott Trusty comes home P4. That's by far his best finish of the season. Bob Wyckoff a top 5. Chris Bishop back there in P6. Justin Johnson P7. Terrence Preston, another top 10 run. Dylan Basin survives for a P9 after limping it around with that damage. Mike Iskandar a top 10. See Parker Scherner back there in 11th. Matt Medler P12. Chris Van Mastrick P13. Thomas Flynn P14. Steven Sear comes home P15. And rounding out the lead lap cars there is Steven Sear back there in 15th. Everybody else out earlier, laps down due to just the carnage of what tonight's race was. Austin Reedy, he was the last caution. He finishes 16th, 7 laps down. Greg Longslaughter back there in 17th. Joey Maines 18th, and everybody else out early tonight here from Chicagoland. Larry Fairman and Eric Jorgensen round out your top 20. You see everybody else here 21st on through 30th. You'll see the rest of the field here further on back. Cody Meadows, John Hopley, Davey Hendricks surrounding out your field tonight here from Chicagoland. But what a way to end it. Chicagoland came down to a green-white checkered, basically. Mark Gonzalez goes back-to-back here and tries to make a late race charge there for the championship at the end, but just not enough. I believe it's a 16-point gap back to the 24 of Thomas Flynn, who gets his first Cup Series championship here from Chicagoland. So congratulations to him, and huge thanks to everybody here at iSNF for allowing us to broadcast here for season 11 of the whole season, right? And looking forward to see what we can do next season here in season 12. Obviously, switching over to ATVO, new graphics package here on the network here for iSNF. Looking forward to seeing what we can do and collaborate with that, with SKS Graphics, and obviously the iSNF Cup Series there with Andrew Schulte and Rhea and everybody else. But once again, my name is Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator for tonight's season finale here from Chicagoland for the Windy City 200. Another congratulations to Mark Gonzalez going back-to-back here from Chicagoland, and a huge congratulations to the 24 team of Thomas Flynn, his first championship here in the Cup Series. But I think it's time to sign off tonight. We appreciate you for coming out. If you wouldn't mind dropping a like, and subscribing to the channel over here on High Velocity TV, or if you are watching over at twitch.tv/ChristianBoss13, we'd appreciate a follow over there as well. But we appreciate everybody for coming out, watching, whether you watched, from Daytona all the way to the end, or maybe just the one or 2 races, or maybe this is your first race here in season 11. We appreciate everybody for coming out and watching season 11 here of the iSNF Cup Series. As once again, my name is Christian Delgado, signing off. And you've been watching a High Velocity TV production of the iSNF Cup Series. Hope everybody has a great rest of your Saturday evening, and we'll see you guys soon.